Dr. Karen Jacobson's passion is health and high-performance living. She studied leadership, human behavior, communication, law of attraction, coaching, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, that's a mouthful, timeline therapy, and hypnotherapy. Dr. Karen blends science and intuition with over 23 years in private chiropractic practice to teach you how to elevate your health, your career, and your potential. As a high-performance strategist, Dr. Jacobson helps you stay successful while regaining balance in your relationships, your health, and your life so that you can tap into that limitless power within, unlock your potential, and live an extraordinary life. So please help me welcome Dr. Karen Jacobson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
Let's start with something simple. דו הוא דוב לבן צפוני, רהו רע מאוכזב, מי דופק על Wait a minute, why aren't you, how many people here know do, re, mi? Why didn't you join me? Oh, it's not the right language, huh? Just imagine, I was 6 years old when I had that experience. I was the only one who spoke English, and everyone around me was singing in a foreign language. What would it be like if you would have the opportunity to just walk in a room and understand, no matter what the language is, everything that people are saying to you? Any Star Trek fans? Hoshi, my favorite. She was the linguist. She knew instantly what people were saying. Now, as a little girl, what I had to do is I had to find other ways. So I had to discover the power of language, and that's where my passion started. What I'm going to go today is deliver some information about how our language can change our life, can change our future, whether it's the conversations that we have with ourselves or the conversations that we might have with other people. So is it okay that I share a little bit about myself first?
Yeah.
Excellent. So as I mentioned, I was 6 years old on this big jet, and my sister, my mom, and myself went to join my brothers and my father in Israel. I had the luck of having to sleep on the floor behind the bulkhead, and my little sister got the 2 chairs. This was us in Israel. Soon thereafter, my life had changed completely. Within a very short period of time, my father had moved back to the States, and our family unit had completely broken apart. My brother, that tall one in the red shirt in the back, moved back to the States, and then my other brother. And then we were 3. Not like Genesis, but then we were 3. Throughout the years, having to learn and understand what people were saying, it created a drive in me to be able to really connect with people, because let's face it, I had no recollection of the first 6 months of my visit in Israel. Now, we had a little cousin, and my sister and my cousin and myself, we created a band. How many here have ever had a band when they were kids? We used to do performances for the family. So, we had the Blue Flip Flop Band, and we used to go on adventures. My cousin didn't really speak any English. We didn't speak any Hebrew, so we had to learn. You know, how many here people know what this means? That's how we started learning to communicate with body language. And then I would ask, well, what's that? And point to something. Now, what do you call this? What do you call this in English? Bottle. In Hebrew, it's called bakbuk. Hey, but isn't that the same thing? Isn't it just water in a bottle? But we assign it a different meaning and a different word. So those words can have a direct effect throughout our entire life. So moving forward, having that passion to understand the movement and the gestures, eventually, I stepped into one of my passions. Yes, I can cha-cha, and I've even won money doing that. Okay? But the biggest gift from ballroom dancing has been the opportunity to connect to my body and to understand what body language means. Okay? From there, my last and my favorite, because my drive originally to connect with people brought me here. Yes, these are some of the lovely Ewomen sisters, and thank you, Janelle, thank you for the leadership team, and thank you everyone for actually spending the time here today with me. So let's talk a little bit about what language is. Language is communication. How do we create connections with people? Through language, right? Yes or yes? Yes. In language, there are three parts. There's the body language, which makes 55%. There's the voice. What are we saying? How are we saying it? Which is 38. And then we, of course, talked about the words. Words make 7%. But if I stood up here and I spoke to you like this, and then came out with something else, would that be appropriate? Not really, right? So it's about, bless you, it's about understanding what is happening around me, because we're not in a vacuum, are we? So I've created something that adds on to that model of communication. And that is the third part, the personality, who we are. How many people here have a personality? How many people here might want to change their personality? Okay? How many people here can look in the mirror and really, really know who they are? Because your personality drives what you do in life. So understanding who you are, and hey look, I could be funny, but I'm not a comedian. I will never sign up for a stand-up comedy. But I do know who I am and what I am. And that's extremely important, whether it's speaking to someone one-on-one or whether it's presenting to an entire room. Because understanding who you are gives you the first opportunity to relate to other people. Second one is physiology. How many people here have hands? Move your hands around a little bit. Okay, now, excellent. Now, if I was standing here and talking like this, would you ladies fall asleep? Probably at a certain point. We're alive, and we need to be alive. Again, whether it's in a presentation to a group, or whether it's one-on-one. Because that has a direct effect on the rapport and the connection that you're creating with someone. Third part is your words. We've already played with that. And words have a different meanings. If I came up and I said, hi. She's smiling.
I'm easy to get along with.
Yes. But see, high can also be high. High can be tall. It depends on the context, and it depends on what we are saying around that word. So let's dive in a little deeper because we have a lot to go through here. Personality is the first pillar. We all have a personality. We already identified that. Yes or yes? Yeah. Okay. Personality. Isn't there a song like that? I've got personality. When we look at personality, there is a way that we each create what's called a blueprint. And our blueprint is what defines how we see the world. So let's go into that a little deeper. Everybody looking at me right now. Okay? Deneen is sitting over there. So she's going to see me from a certain angle. Deneen, raise your hand for those who don't know Deneen. Great real estate agent. You guys have to come up to her and talk to her. We've got Lisa sitting right across. Lisa has a different point of view. Karen here has a different point of view. That's how we all see the world around us. So we gather the information, and then we have 2 million bits of information every second. Anyone ever hold toothpicks? It's like holding 2 million toothpicks in your hands per second. How much of that are you going to be able to grab? Not much, right? So our brain has to do something, and what it does, it filters the information. It deletes, it distorts information, and it generalizes so it can put it into categories. And what it does with it, it creates an experience based on time and space, based on our language, based on our values, based on our attitude, and based on past experiences. What it does with that, it takes in information, okay? You see these? Eyes, ears, mouth, 3 little monkeys. Don't hear, don't see, don't talk. Hearing, seeing, smelling are our senses. Those senses help us gather the information, and as we're categorizing it, we're creating our own experience. Now here's the beauty in that. When we saw a picture of the bottle, if I said right now, pink Cadillac, does everybody have a picture of a pink Cadillac in their head? Yes or yes? Yes. If I said chair, how many see different pictures of chairs? So it's all dependent on your experience and on your point of view. When you create that experience, you're also going to attach emotion behind it. Your emotion leads to your state. Your state is going to lead to your physiology. So if I'm really happy and joyful, I'm going to have that kind of joyful physiology. If I'm really sad, everything is going to reflect that. And that is going to reflect in my behavior. And here's another clue to some of the ladies that I spoke to earlier. Did I not mention to, who was it, to Karen Loomis and Arlene? We talked earlier about physiology, about mindset, and about health. Our thoughts can make us either healthy or sick. I choose healthy. How many are with me? So, personality relates to our intention. Key thing is when you know who you are, you have the ability to connect to your core. That's what creates authenticity. Authenticity is what allows you to relate to other people. How many agree with me on that? Okay. We want to work with people that we like and that we trust. And by making that connection, we have the ability to trust people. And of course, energy. And the energy is not just my energy as the presenter or the friend, but it's about coming in and understanding the people around me and their energy. So it's important in any situation you match your energy to the energy of the other people around you. Posture. Posture is key. Now, if I came to you and I was right in front of you talking like this, how comfortable would you feel?
A little uncomfortable.
A little uncomfortable, just a little bit. Okay, especially not only that she's sitting, but I'm tall. And again, that's part of the awareness of knowing who I am. But if I came to you like this, would you be intimidated?
No.
No. So understanding the situation and how people read, because she wasn't scared of me when I was weak. But when I came and I towered over her, she was like, move away! Okay? Hands. Big issue with us women. Let's be honest, how many are nervous when you're presenting or speaking to a client and this happens? Stop with the hand gestures. Pace yourself. Okay? And I would know that. They say that Jewish people speak a lot with their hands, especially if you're from New York, it's a double whammy. Watch yourself in the mirror. And again, whether it's one-on-one, big issue, videos. Anyone here do any videos or live events? Periscope? If your hands are running like crazy, it's going to make the other people dizzy. We talked about, just showed with Shannon, I showed space. This, unless I'm about to kiss her, which I'm not, is not the right space. Okay? There is space that is appropriate socially, there's space that's appropriate individually. Your face. Smile when you're in the room, smile when you're talking to someone. That's going to make a difference. And of course, by the way, a little note, mentioning eye contact. There are cultures, especially Eastern Asian, where they are taught to look away. Be okay with that and know their culture, that they're not dissing you. They just have been brought up like that to be a little bit more coy, a little bit more shy. Your breath. How many know that when we're nervous, we kind of breathe a little bit higher and our voice goes up? Okay. Ground yourself, center yourself, and breathe deeply. And that brings you right to the voice. Voice will have several aspects. Volume, tonality, pitch, and cadence. If I was going to give a meditation, that would be the pace that I would be speaking to you right now, right? But that's not what I'm doing. I do not want to put you to sleep. I want your attention. So be sure, and when you're looking at yourself, stepping back to your personality, however loud you think you're speaking, unless you're one who's really loud speaking, give a little more oomph. We tend as women to be a little softer, and that doesn't exude much confidence. Your words have power. We mentioned that before. You know, they've said in the past, sticks and stones might break my bones, but words would never hurt me. How many agree that that's false? You ever had a child walk in because they've been bullied? So paying attention to your words and paying attention to what you say to yourself. You know, what do you say to yourself? Marlena mentioned before, standing in the mirror looking. Are you standing in the mirror and looking and saying like, oh, I can't believe how, oh God. Or are you actually adoring the person that's in front of you, that's looking in the mirror and saying, well, you know what, maybe I should go to Marlena and get something done, but I still love that person in the mirror. Because that mirror is also a reflection for life. Because the way you see yourself is the way that you're going to teach others to see you in the world. Now, we're running out of time here, so I'm going to give this quickly, and I have slides that if you give me your email and on a business card, I will email you the slides because there's even more on the slides themselves. But that negative self-talk, lack of clarity, well, you know, I think I'm going to sometime, maybe. Pick your words. Choose. Less is more. And that also comes to saying too much. Profession in my past, we used to have a saying of a new patient coming in and we just like throw up chiropractic on them for the hour. And they're coming in, they're in pain, they want help now. Sometimes saying less is going to mean much more to people. So really choosing your message specifically. And then of course, getting too technical, you know? You start giving me your jargon in your profession that I don't understand, I'm gonna like stare at you like a deer in the headlight. But talk to me when you're speaking to your clients or your customers or whoever's around you, speak to them in the terms of what's the benefit in what you're offering. Listen to them, to what their needs are. And then of course, you say, yeah, I'm with you. Okay? Does my body language tell you that I'm with you? I turned away from you. I have my arms shut. I'm not with you. Okay? So I want you to walk away with 3 really cool tips. How many get nervous before a presentation, before closing a sale, before going on a date? Okay. My favorite is Wonder Woman. Power pose. Remember how earlier we talked about state, your physiology. Here's how you can change your state of mind by changing your physiology. 2 minutes, hands on the hips, center yourself, and just go internal. The other one is this one. Posture. Okay? How many looked and see that, maybe yes, I'm a dancer, but my posture's pretty good? Okay? Here's a little tip standing in front of an audience or speaking to people. Take your heart center and just below the breastbone, which is third and fourth chakras for those who know, the plexus and the heart, and just expand them a little bit. So instead of this, I just open up my chest a little bit. You see how that looks different? And the last one is choose words that are powerful. Very often we'll say, well, I wish, I'm going to try, maybe, I hope. Take that out of your vocabulary. I can, I will, I must. When we turn the things that we wished into the must, that's when we take action. So we talked about personality, physiology, and phraseology. What we say, how we say it, and who we are when we say it. That first thing we talked about, intention, when we align our intention with our expression, that's when we have the opportunity to create a lasting impression. So I've mentioned earlier, if you want to dig deeper into this, come see me at my table. I have an opportunity, and I'm doing a special for Ewomen for my event at the table after. Thank you.
So who is going to do one thing differently when you're speaking in front of an audience or even talking to someone one-on-one? Did you learn one tip that you're going to practice? Shannon's never going to sit in the front seat again.
I will.
But no, that was great. And Dr. Karen does talk about standing up, and I know I catch myself when I'm talking to a group. It really does make a difference. I mean, it's really subtle, but kind of just standing taller, and it's so simple to do. So thank you very much. So